Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the MTB Podcast, episode 162, presented and hosted by Worldwide Cyclery, Kettle Mountain Apparel, and Trail One Components. I am Jeff.
I'm Tydeman.
And I'm Trevor.
Bit of a different episode today. Jared is doing what he does best, and he's MIA on vacation. And Liam broke his wrist. So it's just us three today.
Yep.
Did he break his arm, his wrist?
He broke his, ulna radius.
Just his radius, and then his triquetrum, which is one of the small bones in his hand.
Oh, wow.
So hand and arm.
Yeah.
You know, after all these episodes, it's surprising. I think this is the first time someone has missed due to injury.
Yeah. Surprised it doesn't happen more often.
I know.
We're all like pretty competent, but
if you saw what we did on like a Saturday, Sunday, like a regular Saturday, Sunday, you're surprised that they're not peeling us off the ground more.
It's a shame because you go on all these trips and ride all these crazy trails and try and push the limits all the time, and everything seems pretty much okay. And then he was doing his local Wednesday morning loop that he does every week, and maybe you just get complacent and you are not super focused because it's just trails you've ridden a bunch, and you slide out one little time or swap the front end one little time, and wrong angle, wrong time, and break your wrist. So
I think I've crashed harder on home trails than anything else. Like the little trails near your house, generally the ones that are like spin back to home, those are the ones you're like zoned out, not thinking about it. Next thing you know, you're lying on the floor in a pile going like, oh.
The only time I've ever hit my face like really bad and broke glasses and scraped my face all up was on just a local Dos Vianos trail. It was getting dark, spacing out, rut went left. I was just completely looking forward like I'd done 100 times, and then just next thing you know, just bam, face on the ground, even know what happened. That's so rare because usually you always put your hands out. So yeah, be careful on your home trails.
Big time.
It's worth it to just always keep focused too, and like take it always pretty seriously.
Yeah, always take it seriously.
Because sometimes you just you get relaxed and you're flowing, and it seems to come easy sometimes, and there's always still consequences to what we're doing. So
100%.
Got to pay to play a little bit.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. That's mountain biking. You can get hurt every now and then, but in general, it's much safer than road cycling and much safer than a lot of other activities.
That's for sure.
True story.
Just on rare occasion, you might get scraped up or break a wrist or a collarbone, but that's not that bad.
It heals.
Yeah, exactly.
Pieces back together.
Yeah, and he was telling me he didn't have pretty much a single scratch on his body. Bike's all good. Didn't really even know how it happened, and just broken wrist.
Yeah. Well, anyways, so it's us three. We're gonna get started out here with Zach's words of wisdom, which he did a great job this time. We were trying to figure out what kind of quotes to have him say because he wanted to say some other quotes that we're not gonna make the cut for the podcast. But he came up with people say nothing is impossible, but I need to do nothing every day. Which is a Winnie the Pooh quote, which I told him to use a Winnie the Pooh quote. Did you write in here? Zach works hard every day.
I just wanted to give him some credit. Zach does work pretty hard.
He does work hard every day. He definitely does not do that. That's
I was reading some quotes from him, and he loved that one. So that's what we got.
It is funny. There's have you ever watched Christopher Robin?
No.
Sort of a Winnie the Pooh movie.
I know it, but I haven't seen it.
That's really good. It'll bring you to tears.
Yeah, I was looking at some of those
movie.
quotes, and I'm like, wow, this is amazing stuff, actually.
Yeah. Pooh is philosophical.
Yeah.
Some people know. But watch Christopher Robin sometime. It's a good, heartwarming movie.
I'll put it in the notes.
Watch it with your parents. It's like a good movie to watch with your parents or something. Yeah. That's my tip of the day.
Cool.
Daniel's fun fact. Read it off, Tydeman.
Sharks can sense the Earth's magnetic field. They use it like a natural GPS to navigate across oceans. Jeff, would that be useful for you?
That's rad.
Yeah, would you love that?
That would be incredible.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I'm sure some humans probably claim that they can tell that. It would actually be really interesting to tell if you could take a human and drive them all over and blindfolded and spin them around, and if they could then still know what direction was north. I think some people probably could, but I don't think most people can.
There's definitely some people out in the world, some savants or something that can do that type
I've definitely had some bets with friends where they're saying like, oh, which way's the ocean or which way's wherever. I'm very like you're sitting in a room doing it and like, oh, I'm very confident it's that way. And then I'm totally wrong. Because I just think I have good direction, but sometimes you just have no idea.
I feel like I'm pretty good until I get on a plane. and planes throw out my whole whack. If I drive somewhere, I can like, even if I'm in a room, I'm like, oh, okay, I know where roughly everything is. But then you get on a plane and it just feels like everything spins backwards.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, a lot of it is, we didn't grow up in a world where we really needed to know all the time what was north and south and east and west and what direction we were going, because we just used GPS and Google Maps. And yeah, we grew up in a different world. But if you ever get into adventure racing, then you start using compasses and memorizing maps and understanding how to know what's what direction. And yeah, it's a good skill to have.
Yeah, I was gonna say this would be a great superpower for you for your
adventure races. It would be rad. Yeah, it would be.
Everyone chooses flying, and Jeff would choose GPS using magnetic fields.
I mean, the thing is all you need is a compass, and you got the same thing, because that's what a compass does.
That's true.
It's more of a just knowing instantaneously where you are on the map would be the useful cheat code.
Yeah,
which
that would be a sweet
is GPS rather than just compass.
That's
but
funny.
That is pretty cool. Fantastic testimonials. I've listened to a lot of mountain bike podcasts, and this is the only one that connects with the everyday rider. I've shared this with riding buddies, and never miss an episode. Keep up the good work, WC team. The real Mike.
Thanks, Mike.
Thanks, Mike. Yeah, we've done a good job, I think, at trying to, not be super snobby in the weeds podcast for mountain bikers. Try to answer questions that we think will actually be useful to people who actually ride bikes and do it as a sport and they're enthusiasts about it, and keep it PG so you can listen to it with your kids in the car.
Yep.
As hard as that is for us sometimes, and myself included, we've done a great job at that, and it always will be that.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we are at the shop at least very spoiled with like stuff we get to ride and just all the equipment we have, but I think we try to just keep it light and keep it like a normal conversation that we'd have in the shop anyway, which is what happens every day. So it's cool.
Yeah. And I've always said, let's just try and bring value with any of the worldwide cycler mountain bike media. Just bring value, educate people, tell them interesting, new and cool stuff that's happening in the mountain bike world, things that we know and have learned. That's useful for people.
And it's just fun.
It is also fun.
Many, like every podcast, lots of podcasts nowadays have to have a reason, like, oh, this is going to make you faster, or like, this is how to do this or that. Yeah. It's like, oh, it's just a conversation with some guys.
Yeah, no specific objective like that. Just chatting about bikes.
Which is a good time. Yep.
Yeah, every title doesn't need to be like viral clickbait, just what we're talking about.
Yeah. No controversy, no clickbait, no virtue signaling, none of the stuff that's gonna get people enraged. Just casual conversation about mountain bikes.
Yeah, we're just riding bikes.
Yep. Just riding bikes.
Speaking of riding bikes, Tydeman, part of why we wanted to have you on was you had an epic experience at the Grinduro. And you've done a bunch of those races?
Yep.
So give us the rundown on all things Grinduro.
So if you haven't heard of it, Grinduro is the mountain bike race of gravel races. So it's basically a style of an enduro race that you're out there, big day out on the bike, but they're only going to be timing a certain number of segments. So Grinduro has it set up that they're timing 4 segments throughout. So this one was in California. This is where it originally started. It was in Quincy, which is up in the La Sierra. This was actually the first time it's come back to Quincy since the original first 3 to 4 years, I think. So the first couple years were there, and then it started expanding globally. So they had some races in Japan, Canada, Scotland. I think I said Canada. Yeah. And so those were the couple ones around. They now have like South Africa, Italy. Oh, wow. Actually, the same place you went for that tire, the Conti thing.
Mm-hmm. Massa Vecchia.
Mm-hmm. They have a Grinduro there now, which is really cool. Apparently, Nino Schurter's dad designs the course. But so, long story short, big race. I've done it a bunch. This was kind of felt like a very homecoming type thing, going back to a race, a place that meant a lot to us, a lot to me especially, kind of like really kickstarted my racing career, racing and riding, I'd say. So it's really cool because it's very casual. Everybody gets to go and have a good day. Like we're just talking about, like appealing to the everyday rider. It's not a race for the racers, I would say.
So it's like you're doing a big day, but you're only racing certain stages, like a typical enduro would be.
Yep.
But it's kind of like up and down and traversing and...
Yeah, so they kind of generally shoot to have 2 uphill or flat segments and then 2 kind of more downhill ones. Here at this one, all of them were on dirt, which I was always stoked on more dirt. So this one, the first one was about a 1.7 mile hill climb. I think it was about 600 feet of elevation gain. The second stage was 2.8 miles long, and that was about 250 feet of elevation gain, but like rolling flat fire road. Third stage was 5 and a bit miles. and like 1,500 feet of descent, just ripping fast fire road descending, which was super awesome, drifting corners, getting wild. And then the last one was a single track ripping descent, which was the original Mount Huff Trail, which was the original trail that they built in that area. It was like one of the first things that the Sierra Buttes did in Quincy. And then now going back, 5-6 years for me, that was the original trail, the only trail, and then fire roads. And now I think there's 20-30 different trails, all top to bottoms, like all over the mountain.
And that's from Sierra Buttes?
From Sierra Buttes Trail Stewardship, who kind of runs up that whole area up in the La Sierra.
That's awesome.
Makes it sick. And so that's how they ended up hosting the Sunday event. So they, instead of it just being Grinduro this year, it was actually called the Mountains to Meadows Enduro Fest. So combining Grinduro and then the Mount Huff Enduro on Sunday. And that was very similar, same area. We actually rode a lot of the same trails, but none of the time segments were the exact same. And that was 5 stages, more mountain bike focused on that day. I would say like downcountry trail bike-esque.
What bike did you ride on Saturday?
On Saturday, I went to the dark side, well, the good side, and rode a hardtail. Because gravel bikes, they're cool, they're fun, but I prefer to keep my hands in one piece.
So what percentage of the field rode drop bar bike, gravel bikes versus hardtails or something?
Yeah, so I'd say this was probably the year I saw the most mountain bikes. Yeah. I think nowadays with like how gravel bikes are trending in that like bigger tires, everything's kind of just getting bigger and fatter. I think most people are just like looking at their shed at home going like, why would I take my gravel bike? Like I'm going to bring my mountain bike. That sounds awesome. And especially at an event that's like a little less focused on like who's actually putting out the most watts. It's like a lot about having a good time and enjoying the weekend. I think the mountain bike was really fun. I would personally like to see some more, like something that splits it a bit more. Because back in the day, that was kind of the coolest part about Grinduro for me. They used to have a road segment in it as well, which made it even more like, which bike do you turn up with? Mm-hmm. That was kind of like the coolest thing was everybody was kind of, or not the coolest thing. One of the coolest things was like everybody sitting around going like, oh, do you want to ride a gravel bike? Like that's faster here and there, but like mountain bike's way quicker here, but you're losing a ton of time here. And
so do they tell you have to have the same bike for every stage for the Saturday race?
I don't know. You're getting into the weeds there. Somebody's going to turn up next to you with 2 bikes now.
Well, that's kind of normal. I mean, in enduro races, they do specify you got to have the same bike.
Yeah, that is like typical enduro stuff, but I think like Grinduro is pretty lax or pretty loose. Like it's a pretty easy program.
Their motto is the party to race ratio.
Yeah.
So
it's kind of like TDS of the gravel world.
Yeah. Oh, it's like full TDS of the gravel world. There's more people having like beers at 9 a.m., 10 a.m. after the first stage than there are people like super serious. I don't think I saw a single skin suit, which is always good. No,
but they're serious enough that they don't want you to have an e-bike out there.
But on Saturday, but then Sunday they had an e-bike enduro.
Oh, they did.
Yeah,
okay.
So they started. So SBTS held their first ever e-bike event.
Wow.
And Dr. Rob, who Trevor knows, was sitting there. And so it was a blind enduro on Sunday. So they weren't telling us the course, weren't telling us anything until the night before. And even then, they didn't tell us what the actual stages were. But every time I talked to Dr. Rob, like trying to weasel some information out of him, he was like, just started giggling and said, man, the e-bike guys, man, if they don't come back with a dead battery, like I did my job wrong. He had one stage that was like a loop with like a 5-minute climb in it and like burning batteries. If SBTS is going to hold an e-bike race, it was like, we're going to kill all your batteries. You guys are not like, we're making the playing field equal.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it was super fun. Best event out there. It's so sick. We got some stats here. So Saturday, the gravel race was 54 miles. It was about 7,500 feet of elevation gain. And then I took right around 5.5 hours to ride it.
Is that all the stages added together are 54? Or is that the 54
that's total day? Total day is 54 miles.
And so between each stage, you're just kind of cruising.
You're cruising.
Just riding with your friends at your own pace. Like, you're not killing yourself on these climbs to...
Exactly, yeah.
That's cool.
Which is like the best part is because you get to go fast. You do that fun thing. You're sitting in the top elbow and your buddy going, oh, I beat you. And he's going like, oh, we got another stage. We're going to go to the next one. And then you're just racing for 2 hours along, like beautiful up in the La Sierra, beautiful aid stations to stop at. And they've got all the food you want, all the drinks. Like I rode with my girlfriend all day, Sophie, who those 2 days were her 2 biggest, longest days on the bike ever.
Nice.
And so it was awesome. Like I've done a million races, tons of races, especially over like that length. That's not too big of a day. But then getting to race side by side with her and like roll through the finish.
Yeah, because you never get to do that.
Yeah, it's awesome. Mm-hmm. Like that was the coolest thing is I got to ride with her all weekend and that was so fun. And I get to catch up with friends during my race. And then you finish and then get to go try another stage, do whatever. Yeah, it's good fun. Super sick.
You get to race all the fun parts too.
Yeah, and then you still have the fun part of like getting to the top, trying to go fast still. There's still like, it's not like a full fondo where everybody's just having fun. You're kind of like, oh, well, was it worth it type of thing. You still have that little bit of racing element, but it's just enough that it kind of keeps that stoke. But the rest of the time, you're just having a good time, good music, good food, hanging out, good day out there. There's a lunch stop, all that stuff.
Yeah, so, very cool. And then Sunday was kind of the same vibe, but it's like on mountain bikes, more of a mountain bike enduro kind of race.
Mm-hmm. Yep. So a little bit smaller of a day. I was first year doing that one as well. So yeah, very similar, same type of vibe. I actually think Sunday was a harder day on the bike, even though it was a little bit shorter, just because we were on mountain bikes and the stages were on the like good downhills, good downcountry stages and whatnot, but you were just pedaling so much. And after doing a big day before as well, I did the first stage, was maybe 20, probably like 30 minutes in, and I was just gassed after the first stage.
Yeah,
like,
I mean,
I got a full day to go.
It sounds tough, especially after Saturday as well. So then it looks like Sunday, the enduro race was 40 miles, 5,600 feet of elevation gain, and then just around over 5 hours of riding time as well. So 2 pretty big days back to back, especially if you are doing some intense efforts like racing, you're probably pretty smoked.
Yeah, like those are numbers that even that's a big weekend at home, let alone factoring in like 10 minutes of doing a hill climb effort. Or
how'd your stomach hold up?
Yeah, actually, you're not going to love that one either. Yeah, stomach didn't do too great, but I suffered through. I was just shoving food down. I had a little throw up on Sunday because I ate too much watermelon, though. They had a big plate of like cold watermelon.
That's
awesome.
It was
pretty hot, and I was just like standing there shoveling watermelon down. And we went straight into like the flattest, most pedally stage, and I just blew up on the last minute. I was holding on for dear life, and I got to the bottom and it was just like stomach was cramping and I couldn't figure out why. And then I tried to get some other stuff down, came back up, and I went, oh, no wonder, like nothing solid came up. It was just watermelon that I was eating. So I figured that one out pretty well.
I just knew there was going to be a funny answer there.
No, definitely.
The last time I asked you about that, what was the race you did in the San Gabes that you bonked out and threw up?
The Great Descent.
Yeah, Great Descent.
Yeah. I remember just asking you and just listening to you reply, laughing. All right, this is not super calculated, so this all
it's a pretty loose program,
For as good as you ride a bike, Tydeman, you're a little loose program on the nutrition.
Dude, the nutrition has been my weak spot for a long time, but it's okay. We're working on it. It worked at Downeyville, and that one I'll get my nutrition right at Downeyville, but at Grinduro, I think, I'm pretty sure I had a beer at like 10. So
again, that seems like the type of race you do.
It was pretty perfect. Yeah. I wasn't counting the gels or my carbs or any of that, which was perfect.
That's cool. That's good.
It's exactly what you need at the end of the year, especially. So.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then I ended up winning.
Yeah, I was going to say, how'd you do?
Yeah, so I ended up winning both days, which is pretty bonkers.
That's awesome.
Especially like going back to Grinduro, which I raced that. My first year, I was 15 years old, and I won the junior race there. And then I won, at the time, Sierra Buttes had a triple crown, which was Downeyville, Lost and Found, and Grinduro. And I won the junior triple crown.
That's cool.
They were all stoked about it, all the Sierra Buttes people when I talked about that.
Yeah.
And so, coming back to now racing the elites and pro or open, whatever you want to call it, and to take the win was pretty special. I didn't even to be completely honest, wasn't thinking about it, wasn't even worrying about it. And me and Sophie had kind of rolled across the line, and we were definitely closer to the back to finish, like enjoying the day out there and whatnot. We rolled across, and I think I was sitting there chatting to somebody, and somebody came up and tapped on my shoulder and went like, "Oh, are you Tydeman?" I was like, "Oh, yeah." I was like, "Yeah." He's like, "Oh, congratulations." "Oh, thanks. Like, I finished. Like, cool. Like, it was a good day, but like, I don't know, not that hard." And he's like, "No, man, you won." No, what? Like, no chance I won. Like, you're kidding me. He's like,
so you have no idea during the day?
There's like no live results, no nothing. You didn't even get your times until you crossed the line once you got back. So like this last stage finished like 5-6 miles out of town, and you spun back into the race venue and you came across, and that was when you got your times.
That's cool.
When they broke down every time for each stage.
Yeah.
And then they added them all up for
and then they added up. So I think total race time was like, for me, was like 44 minutes flat, I want to say. And then it gets, even more a little bit surreal when it's like Lachlan Morton was the one that got second, who is like kind of a hero of mine, growing up, all that type of stuff. And he's like standing second on the podium. Ironically,
how did that pan out?
Yeah, well, that was
How did you beat Lachlan Morton?
I don't know. I'm still wondering, man. I'm still wondering. Single track descents. I hung it out there on the descent. I made some passes that I was really hoping I wasn't going to see that person.
So did he do both days as well, or just the gravel day?
Just did Saturday.
Okay.
I would argue they had a pretty sweet weekend. So they bike packed actually back to Auburn afterwards.
Oh, nice.
So they did I think they stopped in Downeyville overnight.
What bike did he ride on Saturday?
So ironically, he had the identical bike to me. So
really?
We were on identical Cannondale hardtails from back in the day, which was pretty sweet.
With like a sweet like black and white paint job.
Yeah, same paint job, same everything.
Maybe we can get a photo in there, but it's kind of cool that you guys have the same exact bike.
Yeah, we were rolling out at the start and we just ended up next to each other right before the first stage. And I just kind of turned to him and was like, "Yeah, nice bike, man." And just kind of rode off.
Lefty fork and all.
It was pretty good.
So what bike did you ride on Sunday then?
And then I was on my Spot on Sunday.
Yeah.
So my like downcountry ripper.
Yeah.
Pretty much exact setup I run around here.
Yeah.
And it ripped. It was perfect. Yeah. That was awesome. I wouldn't really have wanted anything different. Tires were good. I was on Peacekeepers, like similar downcountry setup.
Yeah.
And that was perfect. It was fast and flowy and fun.
The original Grinduro, was it always like that? It was all like sort of a staged gravel race?
Mm-hmm. So that was kind of their whole thing all along, was like, it allows it to be way more inclusive and fun.
Yeah.
It's like appeals to people that don't want to just go smash themselves for 4 hours.
It's kind of an interesting format because there's gravel races, then there's a ton of gravel just rides that people put on that got really popular. I did a handful of those here and there, just for fun. Which are cool because they're casual and you can do a huge century or something. And,
exactly, you get a big day out there. But then,
the concept of doing it in stages is pretty cool.
It's pretty sweet. And then, because as I was saying, you get that like fun thing if you go with a couple buddies and you've got a sick day out on the bike all together. But then you get that similar thing of like same thing I do with Trevor and Liam when we go on a ride of like, I'm gonna beat you down this descent here. Like, I'm gonna beat you, or I'm about to drop you all.
That's how
on
you
this
ride.
climb.
That's how you ride normally. Like that's like, I think why enduro is so enticing to a lot of people. It's like just riding your bike normally.
Exactly, and I feel like this is just the gravel version of that, which is pretty sweet.
It's cool. That's definitely unique.
Yeah, I would say I wouldn't even call it a bike race. I'd say it's the best bike event out there.
Yeah,
is in my opinion, obviously, but it's pretty awesome. It combines just about everything you want in an event.
That's sweet.
Party to race ratio.
Yeah, I think I need to put that on the list next year.
Yep. No, I think we got to get everybody up there next year. The other thing
that sounds more fun than Downeyville to me.
Oh, dude, 100%. Downeyville is awesome. Downeyville is like a hard race. That's
a very hard race.
Yeah, pushing your body and all that.
Yeah.
But Grinduro, you're just in it for a good weekend in a beautiful part of the world that not many people have gotten to, and on some like pretty spectacular fire roads, spectacular trails. It's pretty awesome. I'd say everybody should come. It's one of those races that if you can at all find a way to get to this one around the world, any of them, you should go experience it because it's something special. It's super cool.
Rad.
Yeah.
So how much are they paying you to say that, Tydeman?
I think Tydeman's just very stoked on his weekend.
I'm stoked. Yeah.
You should at least send him this pod and say, hey, by the way, I said some nice things. Can you maybe send me a pair of socks or something? Like, that's what you'll get. You'll get a pair of socks. Speaking of that, we had signed up a whole bunch of the guys here, myself included, for Lost and Found gravel race. But it was in 2020.
Oh,
so they canceled it and they sent us all a pair of socks and didn't give us our money back for like $150. It's kind of funny.
At least it's going to a good place, similar to Trail One.
That was the thing.
It puts on all their races.
They apologize, whatever. I mean, everyone had putting on events during 2020. It's like I'm not gonna yank their chain about that one. It's no big deal.
And on kind of that similar note, that is one of the really cool things about these races is that they're talking to Sierra Butte's people. They're saying like, yeah, these are fun to put on, but the main thing we're doing is that these fund the trails.
Yeah.
Like that's what comes out of it.
That's what's so cool about Downeyville.
Yeah. Like that. Yeah. It's maybe not the cheapest race you're entering in the year, but every dollar is going to people that are like actually making a difference and building trail. Like coming back 6 years later and seeing, I think it was something like 30 or 40 miles of trail that they've added in the last 6 years, and not just like some it's all right trail. Like some of the best trails I've
correctly.
Yeah.
Sierra Buttes is amazing. They're one of the best in the whole country that stuff. And that's why we, a lot of Trail One donations head their way because they really do such a good job.
Yeah, I'm a huge fan of everything they do. Super cool people too, which is important things. So yeah, good times.
Yeah, that's rad. Did you happen to have the new firmware update for your drivetrain?
I did not have the new I'm actually mechanical on the hardtail. Old school.
Yeah, so changing topics a little bit.
From the party to race ratio.
The random thing that pre-recording this pod, I go, Trevor, what's new? And he said, oh, there's a firmware update for T-type drivetrains.
There's a firmware update for T-type drivetrains. Basically improves the shifting speed for 3 gears, hitting 3 gears in succession, which is kind of a big deal because I think...
So it's not the shifting speed just one at a time, but it's the shifting speed for when you do 3 at once.
Well, it's like clicking it 3 times.
Got it.
Okay. And so like prior, it wasn't a huge deal, but prior, and it was, I think people's biggest gripe about T-type drivetrains is they're relatively more slow than a mechanical drivetrain, or let's say the new XTR that just came out, wireless XTR. So it's basically improving that speed for 3 years in a row. They were saying they didn't want to do more, otherwise it would affect the shift quality that they kind of want out of it. But there was still some room to improve it, I guess. So before the pod, downloaded the firmware real quick, tested it in the stand versus a non-updated one, and I couldn't tell a huge difference, but riding it outside under power, I definitely could tell it was extremely quick, almost unnoticeable that it was even changing 3 gears. It just kind of slammed right into place, which is kind of what I was looking for originally. I know for some people, like me and Tydeman were just talking about this, but for some people that is not even an issue at all. For me personally, I think when I'm riding and I see like a huge downhill or huge uphill right away and I'm not really expecting it, I like to just dump like 5 gears at a time just so I'm like in the right gear. With a normal T-type setup, like you either have to shift early and then kind of pedal, which is annoying when you don't want to pedal. Otherwise, you're not in the right gear when you're up the hill. And if you can just do one kind of pedal stroke instead of like 3 or 4 pedal strokes, I think that makes a pretty big difference. So now it's just a little bit faster.
Yeah. I think it's cool. Nice. I'm definitely, I'm not sitting there. I've never thought that it was too slow. Like you see on Instagram, the people like dumping T-type versus XTR, like you were saying, from hardest gear all the way up to the easiest gear and back down. Like, oh, it's so much quicker.
No one's doing that in real life.
When am I ever doing that?
No.
Like even the dumping thing, like I was thinking about it now, since there's situations, where it's maybe a little bit slower, but not like crazy notice, but quicker is better. As long as like the shift quality is still there, which it sounds like it is, and they're doing all that, then that's the main thing for me. I think it
won't hurt.
It's not going to hurt.
No.
And for the people that want it a bit quicker, then awesome.
I was reading some Pink Bike comments from the article that Pink Bike put out for that, and people were screaming about a possible subscription-based service that SRAM's going to implement for their shifting, where you're gonna have to start paying for upgrades, the possibility of that.
SRAM Plus. Subscribe to SRAM Plus in order to shift your T-type drivetrain faster.
I don't think they're ever going to do that, but because you're already paying for the product. But I mean, every other company in the world has done that with subscription-based stuff. So it's kind of interesting. I don't think they'll do that though. They just want their product to be better.
Just wait until the frame comes out and you've got to buy your only SRAM subscription to ride your bike.
It would be a good just April Fool's press release thing for them to do, or maybe
that would be a great April Fool's.
Maybe we could just do it. We could just pretend straight face that SRAM's introducing it. It's just completely incorrect, and it's
say they've added like a 14th gear or something.
Yeah.
But you have to buy it. You have to buy the add-on package, the DLC. It's downloadable content for your drivetrain.
4-tier subscription service for your drivetrain.
That's crazy.
Oh man.
Yeah, that would be funny. Could happen though.
Make a different noise when you shift. That'd be a good one too.
Kind of on the same lines as that, with the new like e-bike drivetrain and the wired in axis drivetrain you can put on the new DJI motors. And I don't know if Bosch has it, but I know Bros has it too, like Specialized and SRAM, their motors have it, where you can, your T-type derailleur is wired into the actual battery of the bike. So you don't have an external battery.
Yeah, you never charge it, right?
You never charge it. And if it does fail, for whatever reason, the cable fails, you can just put a normal axis battery on it, which is pretty sweet. But you can shift on the shifter in the derailleur, and the spider on the motor will spin independently from you pedaling it. So we have a video on it on Instagram, so you can see with the new DJI stuff. And so you can be just cruising on the trail, riding normal, shift a couple times, and without you pedaling, it's already going to be in the gear that you want. which I think is pretty sweet.
That's pretty sweet. I think that's like...
It's the same advantage that gearbox bikes had. You could basically just shift without pedaling.
Without pedaling, and then you start to shift and it's already straight into gear, which is pretty sweet. Now, a normal drivetrain will never be able to do that just because the spider's attached to the crank arms like normal bikes do. But yeah, something along the lines of that is kind of interesting.
Yeah.
I could see that being super useful, especially on an e-bike.
Yeah.
You just you just shift whatever gear you want to and it's there.
Yeah, it's a cool benefit. You think they'll ever integrate that whole wire and battery system to the dropper post too?
Yeah, I think so. I think they might as well. They might as well. Although it's kind of annoying because I don't want that.
Because then you have a wireless dropper post.
Yeah, like a wireless dropper post is a mechanic's dream. It's so good. There's no cables. It just works. Sure, it's a little heavier, but they're so good. So just having an extra wire on there, it's gonna remind me of like an old Di2 bike with the battery and the seat post and just pinched cables, and it just seems like like moving the seat up and down. It seems like a nightmare.
I mean that's really what's happening with the rear derailleur though, because doesn't that wire run from the back of the derailleur all the way through the chainstay all the way up into the bike?
Yes. So does the same. Although there's no
you can't call it a wireless drivetrain anymore.
No, you can't. Yeah, that's a wired-in drivetrain.
Now you have an electronic wired drivetrain. Partially,
but you can make it wireless.
Yeah,
works both ways.
Yeah. Huh.
Nice.
E-bike tech,
man.
E-bike tech. It's getting crazy, man.
It's getting crazy.
It's getting nuts.
That video that Jared put on Instagram showing that, it was very confusing.
Yeah.
There was not enough context.
No.
You just looked at it and it looked like the bike was pedaling by itself.
Yeah.
Because basically in the stand, what that ends up doing is it looks like it pedals the bike when there's no weight on the rear wheel at all.
Yeah. I should have had the cranks not moving.
Yeah.
I think the cranks were moving with it. I should have held the cranks, put it in the stand, held the cranks, and then that way it shows the rear wheel and the spider moving independently.
It just requires some explanation.
Yeah. But maybe it was good rage bait for some people.
Well, things that are confusing are great on social media because people watch it and they're confused and they watch it again and then they're confused and they watch it again and next thing you know, it does great.
Yeah, it's good for the algorithm.
Like the DT Swiss Hub video that you guys made.
Yeah.
Showing the different engagement in the different spots.
So the craziest one we put out was I'm forgetting the hub manufacturer right now, but
I remember that thing.
It was the reverse hub where the pawls were on the rotor side and the splines, the drive splines were built into the rotor. So it's completely reinventing the hub, and I guess the advantages of it were that it's super stiff and the bearings are equidistant apart, and there's just less flex, I guess, in the whole system. I'm probably ruining that explanation of it. It's very complicated, but the way we filmed it made it just look like the rotor was going to spin independently, which would never happen when it's all sealed up.
Yeah.
And the video looks nuts. It's absolutely crazy.
Yeah, it's on the Worldwide Cycler Instagram. It's a gold hub. It has 26,000 likes, and
it's got a couple million views, I think.
Yeah,
it went crazy.
Liam's top comment that has 1,323 likes says, "Who let the engineer out of their cage?"
Which is kind of true. What was the
and then Zach commented, "I don't even know what the heck I'm looking at."
What was the hub called? Just so we can give him some credit. And
I don't know. Didn't put it in here.
Go to the. I think they commented on the actual post explaining themselves or giving some validation to it because everyone was just kind of roasting them in the comments.
Is it this Ride KOM?
Yes.
Okay, KOM bicycle components.
Yeah, a KOM hub. So pretty interesting stuff.
Yeah, that is. Well, that's definitely a letting the engineer out of the cage type of bike industry thing.
For sure.
Big time.
Yeah.
As somebody that roaches my brake rotors, that sounds not very pleasant.
Yeah, a little bit. It's like proprietary rotor.
Yeah.
And probably really very expensive as well. But if you're into some cool, weird, different tech, then that's right up your alley.
And if you break hubs, maybe that's your...
the rider I built that wheel for, in particular, has a problem with breaking hubs and just breaking bike parts in general. And he heard about this hub and it's way more durable, so he wanted to try it out. I don't know what the prognosis has been since then, but that was the idea of it. Was just getting something that was going to be ultra reliable, but I don't know. It didn't seem
jury's out.
That's funny.
I don't know. It could be great. He could be still riding. I have no idea, but that was the idea behind it.
Yeah, so we'll have to follow up on that.
I should follow up on that. Yeah.
It does look cool. I mean, half the things that are just bike parts just look cool. hubs, taking a hub apart, spinning it, listening to the clicks. Just looks cool. Watching its full suspension frame collapse and it just looks cool.
Whenever I like have a shock off a bike in the back working on it, I always like someone's walking by. I'm like, hey, check this out, because you never get to see the suspension movements that travel like independently like that. It's kind of cool to just see how it works.
Does look cool. Yeah,
you can see the whole triangle like kind of move forward. Or
that's why RC cars are so fun.
RC cars are fun.
Anyone's ever taken a nice high-end RC car and taking the shocks on and off? I mean, it was really
I've
cool.
watched Trevor do that, like 10 beers deep.
He's watching me do it, and
still shredding RC cars these days.
Focus time. I haven't in a little
broken,
while,
isn't it?
No, I've fixed it, but I brought it to TDS and. I brought it there broken, and so it was nighttime, and I had to fix the clutch on it. The clutch was slipping. I had to take it all apart, tighten the clutch, and then put it back together in the dark with a couple beers in me.
On your tailgate.
On my tailgate, and it was wet and rainy.
It was raining.
But it was worth it. It was so fun.
This is awesome. What Liam should get into.
He should get into that.
Yeah, the last time I went deep into RC cars was when I had a really bad broken collarbone. Because not much else to do.
I think he did text me how bored he was today.
Yeah, see? That's what RC cars are for. When I was 17, I had a broken collarbone. I just rebuilt the RC car, painted multiple different bodies for it. I mean, what else are you going to do?
Yeah,
and you just do it all with one hand.
It's the time to do
tedious.
It. I mean, like, if you're not, like, broken and you're working on the RC car all day, it feels a little irresponsible.
Yeah,
definitely. Like, what are you doing? I'm painting the body of my RC car the worldwide colors. It's insane. But it was awesome though. I love it. It's pretty fun. I'm a mechanic, so I like tinkering with stuff anyway. So
they are cool.
It's just fun. Yeah, a little too fragile for me though. I would say
they do break all the time. Yep. If you got like a spectrum of like dirt bikes at one end that seem to never break, and like mountain bikes are somewhere in the middle that they kind of break some of the time, like RC cars are like way to the far other side. They just break by like looking at them wrong.
One of the guys, I was bleeding a brake today, and one of the guys in the back was saying, he's like, hey, I've had my dirt bike for all these years. I've never had to bleed the brakes. He's like, I've never had to do that. I'm like, well, maybe you just like don't know, or like, everything is like way more durable on it. Like, it's just going to last forever. The mountain bike, like, everything is so engineered to be light and small that
if everything on mountain bikes was their weight wasn't a consideration, you would never have to maintain them nearly as much, and they would be way more durable. It's all weight related thing.
And it's the other difference that I've heard people talk about is that when you're on like a dirt bike, you're you're not riding what you go and buy at the like at whatever store nearby. You're not buying the equivalent of what we're buying with mountain bikes, what like the majority.
Yeah, a lot of people do like to compare the two.
Yeah. That, like especially when you hear like on a similar argument, like people being like, oh, like tires are $130 these days. It's like, well, you're buying like the best tire you possibly can that like the greatest dude in the world is riding the same weekend.
Yeah. It's like comparing your car tires to the F1 car tires.
Yeah, exactly. It's
those are not the same price.
I can buy 2 car tires for the same of it, like a set of mountain bike tires and whatnot. And you're like, well,
I guess for moto, like technically you can't really buy those tires even.
Exactly.
Like, that's the ones that are racing.
Like the bike that Hayden Deegan's riding costs $100,000. Like those things are getting torn apart every time they touch the track. So it's like goes both ways. I don't know. I see it both sides. That's dirt bikes are sweet. It's nice they don't break.
Yeah, true. Well, before we jump to our quick intermission, I wanted to make my announcement about the Kettle Mountain Treasure Hunt Edition 3. Tydeman, you going to go out to Colorado to do it?
I don't know if I'm going to go out there.
I think Tydeman's done going out to Colorado.
I'm done. I think I drove out there like 12 times separately last year, like there and back 12 separate times.
Yeah.
So I think I will not be driving out there. But I got some people that I'm going to be...
I bet you have some friends that would love to.
Yes. I got some friends that are itching to get lost in the woods.
Yeah. So this one's going to be a very different format than the prior ones. So this one, I'm calling it the Rocky Mountain Oyster Challenge. If you know what that is, awesome. If you don't, feel free to Google it. But it's, very different than the prior ones, which were spread across all these different states. This one will be just Colorado, and it'll be 10 jars that are going to be lined up on the front range of the mountains, all the way as north as Boulder and all the way down to Colorado Springs. In those 10 jars, $100 cash, $100 gift card, and also the 5 coordinates to another 5 jars, which take you west into the mountains. Those jars, $200 cash, $200 gift card, and 3 coordinates to jars that take you even further into the mountains. Those 3 jars, $300 cash, $300 gift card, and the final coordinate to the final jar, which will be somewhere near-ish Leadville. So it's a little bit more of a challenge format. So it'll be announced on what's my goal? I hope I can stick to October 18th at 8 a.m. Mountain Standard Time. So this one's not going to be just spontaneous and dropped out of nowhere. What are you laughing at?
I just love that you just like pulled out the like exact date and time.
I got it here, man. Well, because all the last ones have been totally spontaneous by design, intentionally. And a lot of people get mad and they go, "Oh, you dropped these at Tuesday at 1:00. You know, all these schmucks who are unemployed are getting these things." And I'm like, I don't know, you're just upset that people tried harder than you and they left work early and you didn't get a chance to go get these things. So this one, I'll be basically leaking everything, on the podcast and on the KETL Instagram and via the KETL email list. And it'll be all sort of structured, and then October 18th morning we'll release the 10 coordinates to those jars, and then 10 people will go and grab those immediately, and then hopefully play along and continue to just go further west into the mountains to get more and more cash and gift cards all the way to the final jar.
Yeah, that's awesome.
That's wicked.
Bit of a challenge. Hopefully it works and people like this format.
I think it'll work better because there's more opportunity for success to get to the last jar versus, like you're saying, rewarding someone who maybe on Instagram first, or maybe they don't live like right next to the place, or whatever the reason may be. They can go to this first jar, and there's 10 jars to choose from, right? So hopefully you get lucky and get that one. Or hopefully maybe someone leaves a coordinate there or something.
Yeah, I mean, it'll be interesting to see how, basically tactful people are, because that the way the jars are laid out, starting in Boulder, going all the way down to Colorado Springs, if you just look at the population centers, obviously the jar by Boulder and the ones really close to the west side of Denver are going to have the most amount of people going to them immediately. And the ones that are kind of in between Denver and Colorado Springs, there's way less population next to them. So maybe people will notice that and think about that and realize if they didn't get it right away, they'll have a better chance of getting that. So we'll see. We'll see if people are...
No, it's cool.
It'll be a challenge.
I like it.
And I just think, people, I have a lot of faith in the Coloradans that have, good ability to trail run, hike, mountain bike, camp, do all of the things they need to do to get these things. So I think it should work.
I think there's going to be some people fired up to get out there.
Yeah. It's going to light some fire into some people that, people who are into adventure racing, it's just like, oh yeah, no problem. I'm just going to do this 24 hours.
Yeah. You've seen a slight reason to go do it.
Yeah.
And you're just committed. Go for it.
Mm-hmm. Will the winner, the person that gets the last jar, have to have a Rocky Mountain oyster?
Well,
is there going to be like a video submission element?
We'll see. My plan was to potentially go out there while this was going to be finished and just wait at the final treasure jar with a bowl of Rocky Mountain oysters.
That's crazy.
But the more I've never had them, so the more I looked into them, apparently you deep fry these things and you kind of need to eat them fresh. But there's apparently a restaurant in Leadville that serves them.
Dude,
so
you could be like that
I don't have
guy.
all those answers just yet.
Have you seen that guy on Instagram that's been like hiking? He goes on like a trail run and makes ice cream in his backpack and like gives it to random people on the trail side. We could get you with a fryer up at the top of the last one, just sitting there waiting.
Oh man, I don't really cook anything, so I'm not the guy to cook that. I'm gonna have to. I'll have to delegate that somewhere else. Yeah, you want something that'll give you food poisoning after you just finish this treasure hunt?
Yeah, that's funny.
So anyways, if you have any questions, feel free to send them to treasure@kettlemountain.com. I'll be replying to those emails. But yeah, we'll be leaking some more information in October 18th.
Exciting.
If you're a Coloradan or you want to fly to Colorado just for this, get ready. It's a good way to win some money and have a good time while doing it. And hopefully not freeze, because it could be cold that time of year, but it won't be that bad.
Yeah, you'll be fine.
Yeah, it's not that bad.
No.
I'm not going to put anything above 13,000 feet, so...
or will you?
Yeah, I don't actually know yet. I shouldn't say that yet. I haven't gone out there yet.
Yeah, so. I think it's every time I've asked you, I think that max elevation has gone up 1,000 feet. Yeah. I think I see you started out saying like 9, maybe.
Well, it's almost impossible to stay below 9 once you're out there.
Yeah,
because everything's above 9.
Now we're getting.
So you haven't hit the jars yet?
No, so I'm flying out there October 1st to the 6th, and I'll be just. I'm just going to get a car on Turo and just live in the car and just drive around for 4 days putting these things out.
That's awesome. Sweet.
Yeah, it should be pretty fun. So I'll have it all set, dialed in, perfectly organized, and then ready for everyone to just charge on October 18th.
Cool.
Perfect.
I'm super excited to see how that turns out, because the last two have been crazy, like jam packed with people like ding ding ding, people finding all the jars. So this will be a little bit more delayed, and it'll be cool.
Yeah, it'll be a little bit more of a ramp up. People will know when it's coming, and there won't be any complaints of people saying, "Couldn't you have done this on Saturday morning?" It's like, well, now I am doing it on Saturday morning just for you.
I don't think I ever got the result from the jar they hit on Santa Cruz Island. Do you know what happened with that?
So that was in edition 1, the very first edition we did. That was, I think, 10 jars in 4 states or 5 states. And the one they all disappeared in less than 24 hours, but the one on Santa Cruz Island I knew was going to be there for a long time, and because it's hard to get there, because you either need your own boat or you need to take, there's only one ferry service that goes there, and it's sold out almost every single weekend. So eventually somebody did get a booking on the ferry and went there and got it, and then we got a text message and a photo saying good news and bad news. We got the treasure on Santa Cruz Island, but we missed our ferry home. So now the ranger is putting us
4 hours on the island. Like, it's not that long.
Yeah, it's not that long. So you really you had to be really good at understanding basically the distance from where you get dropped off to where it is, your route planning, how long it's going to take you. It's a lot of variables, because you don't know how long it's going to take you to find the thing, but you do need to have a turn back time in mind, which maybe they did. Maybe they just said, oh, F it, we're just going to stay out here. Obviously they missed the ride back, and then the park rangers had to put them up for the night, because there's no structure on that island other than the park ranger cabins. So that was the last I heard from them. So
they
redeemed the gift card, so they eventually got home and got their gear.
That's such a good cash. That's such a good story.
Yes, that one I actually did. I found a really nice, actual, legitimate wooden treasure chest, because I thought, I'm putting this in Scorpion Canyon on Santa Cruz Island. I'm going to put this one in an actual treasure chest. So I bought a treasure chest, lugged it all the way out there, and hid it out in some rocks.
That's cool. Yeah, it definitely does give off that vibe of like finding hidden treasure out there.
Yeah,
it's pretty sweet.
Yeah, so I'm just going to keep leveling these things up, because it's just fun. It's a ton of fun.
It's super cool.
I enjoy doing it. So sweet. Hopefully if this one in Colorado goes well, we'll continue to do this format. And then in the wintertime, we'll do it out here in the Southwest. So Phoenix, LA, maybe Vegas, who knows? So should be good.
Stoked.
Right. Well, quick intermission, and then we'll hit some listener questions.
Let's do it.
Yep.
And now, a word from our sponsor.
Hello, mountain bikers. Just a quick favor to ask. If you're a longtime listener of the podcast, you've probably heard us talk about Trail One components. Trail One is a brand we co-founded that has been our outlet to design the exact components we have always wanted, with a very overqualified engineer. We have a growing line of components, but one I wanted to mention today was our most popular product, the Hell's Gate grips. We put a ton of effort in the design of these things, which we feel combines all of the best little elements of all of our favorite grips into one. The grip has also been responsible for donating $8,000 to supporting a trail building network in Kajabe, Kenya, where the Hell's Gate National Park is located, and home to some epic mountain bike trails and trail builders that now have some added financial support thanks to all those who have given the Hell's Gate grips a try. If you want to check them out, you can see them at trail1.bike and snag 25% off with the code MTBpodcast25. That's TRAILONE.bike, and the code is MTBpodcast25. Muchos gracias, amigos.
And now, back to the show.
Listener questions. Tydeman, you want to read the first one?
Yeah, I got this one. Hey guys, first, love the podcast and listening to the banter every new episode. I know I've gotten some trip ideas and learned a lot listening to you guys. Second, I currently have a 2023 Trek Fuel EX with GX axis, and I'm looking to switch to a mechanical drivetrain. I would like to switch to the Eagle 90 T-Type, but want to know if there is something better. If there is something better, and what, besides cassette derailleur shifter chain, needs to be changed, if anything. Thanks. Yeah.
Well, you have experience on Eagle 90.
Yeah, I'm a massive fan of the Eagle 90. I think it's like the greatest thing that happened to drivetrains with the push to electronic stuff. Having like a budget option that actually works and I'm putting it on my bikes over electronic stuff is pretty awesome. I love that stuff.
Yeah, I think the only thing that needs to be, I guess, updated or is like the biggest downside to it is just the shifter doesn't feel the best.
Yeah.
And even when you're in kind of the Eagle granny gear, there's kind of like a little bit more of a play. Like it feels like your limit screw is like not correct, but there's no limit screw.
Just the flex and the lever and the qualities of materials and all that stuff.
Yeah, it just doesn't feel great. But I think I would assume eventually
doesn't feel great in comparison to really expensive 11-speed mechanical stuff.
No,
Yeah, I'll agree with that.
That is still much
but
more.
But
it feels much better than a $500 mountain bike.
It has the advantages of having the T-type interface, chain, cassette.
Which I was about to say.
Which is where you can shift under load.
Yeah.
And just doesn't miss a shift.
Doesn't miss a shift. And then the cool thing as well is that all the T-type stuff like works together. So I've got the 90 derailleur and shifter on my bike, but that's the only 90 stuff I have. I've got EXO the rest of the way through for my enduro bike. And that's like the coolest thing is you can all of a sudden now you can like pretty much build the drivetrain you want. So you want to build a super light XC race bike, you go XXSL all the way through and then have the derailleur. And I'm pretty sure Liam's done all the calculations and all that. And I'm pretty sure it's either the same weight, if not
it's
lighter.
It's very similar.
Very similar. It's within the same range. But then you can have it. The derailleur costs $200-$300 or something, which is pretty awesome. Like I smoked my derailleur the other day. I was like, oh no, like I'll just order a new one, which is much better than like, what is it, $1,000 or something almost for an XX. So like I dig it.
If you were to upgrade any part of that system, or what do you think would be the most important? Do you think like the chain would be good, or like cassette?
Depends what your goal is.
Yeah,
like whether your goal is like weight or
also just compatibility too. None of that stuff's going to be compatible with his existing GX access.
Yeah, so he's going to have to go
exactly
full new drivetrain. I guess you can keep the cranks, but you'd have to go to a new chainring and all that.
So he's asking like where should he like budget his money, or where should he put the money into?
I would say going like my group set that I have, again, depends what you're searching for weight or whatnot, but I'm running a 90 drivetrain with EXO the rest of the way through. And that's pretty good. I feel like that's like the good balance of like budget where I'm going to break things. And then all the expensive things I put a little bit more money into, a little bit lighter, a little bit nicer finish, all that type of stuff. But then your big old giant T-type derailleur that's hanging around below, you can smack that and get a new one nice and cheap. And when there is a nice shifter, that would be the next thing I want to buy. Because that's definitely the one, my only complaint. And I wouldn't even say it's a complaint. It's more of like a gripe or something
to pick at.
Yeah, it's like if I was really nitpicking, that's the one thing that's a little bummer. Like when I get I have an XX1 12-speed mechanical on one crisp and that thing is like
crispy
money crisp. Like you get on and you're like, oh, okay, like this is how bikes are meant to work.
Yeah.
And then you get on that and it's like, oh, okay, it's like meh, it's just like feels a little smushy.
Still does the job, but doesn't have the tactile
but then
feel.
The nice thing about the T-type, which I think kind of makes up for that, is that you're not as worried about like that precision shifting feel because you can just shift. You like just click it. It doesn't
shift under load.
Yeah.
It's way quieter too.
Super quiet.
This going from GX Access to SRAM 90 T-type, this guy's bike's going to get way quieter.
Dude, it's like going to make a huge difference. Yeah, especially that GX Access stuff. That was like, I would say one of the noisier drivetrains I've had on my bike in a long time. And the T-type stuff just as a whole system is just silent. It's so good.
And as far as like for the whole T-type ecosystem, as far as like cassettes go, I would say the shifting quality between like a base level like GX cassette and like the XX cassette is very similar. Just the main thing is going to be weight. I feel like with the Axis system, if you had like a GX cassette and GX chain, the shifting quality really wasn't that good compared to if you had like an XO or XX1 cassette and chain. With the normal Axis like setup, the quality is very different and the weight was very different. For this new T-type stuff, the weight is still very different, which is to be expected, but the quality is still there with the lower end stuff, which is
100%.
Pretty sweet.
Obviously, it's not the mechanical stuff, but I ride my dad's bike that has GX transmission on it.
It feels great.
And if I close my eyes, I would be riding my bike.
Exactly. You can't tell, but the weight's there for sure. So,
no, good stuff. Highly recommend it. Especially if you want something that's going to last.
Yeah. I can't wait for them to come out with the updated shifter for that.
Or I was actually looking, there's this company.
What they need is an XXSL mechanical T-type drivetrain.
Yeah.
Yep.
I think
that's a niche market.
Yeah.
It's
but I'm the niche. I want that.
It is, but it isn't because it's just going to be lighter than the battery stuff.
That's
so
a good point.
Yeah. I would put that on my bike. Although I have gotten really used to wireless shifting, and it is nice.
That is the one thing I'll say.
When you're tired and you're like smoked or your heart rate's super high and all you have to do is press a button, it is kind of nice to just press a button instead of actually shift it. It sounds so stupid. But
I'll say the one thing I've done actually, so on a similar note with the shifter, is going from the pod back to a regular shifter. I'll be at like the end of a long ride, going up a climb, and go to hit my easier gear, and I just not thinking about it, click the harder gear, and it's not a very fun time. You click 3 harder gears, and you're, down to 0. But no, it's good stuff. Recommend it.
I think my favorite wireless shifter they've come out with has been when they first came out with like the upgraded paddle or upgraded like trigger shifter for Axis. Like it mimicked the mechanical version trigger shifter.
Dude, we've sold so many of those.
So good. And then
insane
they went to
little $20 upgrade or something.
I got so used to it, and they went to the pod, and it took me a while to get used to that.
Yeah, but there is a pod adapter, isn't there?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
and the but you can still run a normal Axis shifter on it, which is the best part.
From whatever.
Axis Pod Rocker Paddle Upgrade Kit.
There you go.
$25 and free shipping on worldwidecyclery.com. Yeah, we've sold so many of those when those came out.
Easiest upgrade. It's like a no-brainer.
Yeah. Yeah, it's just way more intuitive. Why didn't they just do that to begin with is the question.
Because the first one sucked.
Yeah.
It didn't make any sense. Yeah.
I mean, I guess that's what's cool about SRAM is they released it and they got a lot of feedback from people that said, hey, this should have a different feel and should be more intuitive, yada, yada. And they just made a product and produced it really quick.
Yeah.
And then it,
even the new Reverb remote, it doesn't come with it actually, but you can buy it. It's like part of the same kind of package and does not seem very intuitive. I don't know why they went away from the pod.
It's different than the pod?
Mm-hmm. It's like a pod, but has more surface area and has a little like notch on the back. You can hit it with your pointer finger if you want to.
That. Yeah.
But it doesn't seem very good to me, or it just seems, I don't know. I'm not really a big fan of it, but I haven't run it on a personal bike, but I've built up a couple bikes now with it. And I'm not a huge fan.
I haven't even seen that.
Well, this next question, I'll give you the AI generated summary of it. This gentleman has got an original Rebel Rascal, and he's basically just trying to get faster. And his friends are telling him, quote, lose some weight and do some squats. But it sounds like he's more trying to figure out how he can get faster without doing that and just upgrading his bike. He mentioned he went to Maxxis Forecasters, probably a little bit lighter tire setup than he was originally running, is my guess. He mentioned that he also used to have a Ibis Ripley AF, which was fast as a rocket ship on the climbs and XC stuff, but wanted to kill me on everything else. So, yeah, this is just the typical mountain biker's dilemma. You could always have more bikes, your bike could always be nicer, and you could always be faster.
That's the progression right there.
That's how this goes.
He also wants to know if the new Rascal SL will solve his problem of basically getting on
the old Rascal right now.
Yeah, he has a Rascal V1, so they have a V2, and then now they have a Rascal SL, which is just a little bit lighter for him.
Yeah, I mean, it would get him closer there.
It wouldn't hurt.
I mean, it sounds like he probably would really like just, what is called a downcountry bike, which is something more like a Revel Ranger or something in that, in between an XC bike and a trail bike, which your Spot is kind of like that.
Mm-hmm.
There's a bunch of good bikes like that, 120 mil travel bikes.
The money bike right now that everybody's trying to come out with.
I think it has been for quite a while. It is pretty fun. Yeah, I mean, that's what the Revel Ranger was, is. And yeah, the Yeti SB120, there's a ton of bikes like that are really fun. And because it is a perfect balance of, almost as fast as an XC bike, but has really good trail bike-esque geo and feels good and stable and solid. And I mean, that's why I loved and rode that Revel Ranger for so long. And yeah, now riding that Yeti ASR, it's definitely not as stable and gnarly, but it's so close and it's so fast and light that I've just kind of got addicted to that bike for XC stuff. But yeah, that sounds like, to answer your question, man, you just need more bikes.
N+1.
Yeah, 100%. So yeah, I don't know. That's a tricky one. I mean, I always tell people to get a bike that makes the most sense for where you ride the most often. So if he says he's riding in Rhode Island, if he's riding a bunch of trails in Rhode Island that are really not that gnarly and he could get away with something like a Yeti ASR or a Revel Ranger, he'd probably be faster on that bike and have more fun on it. But if they are a little bit gnarlier and he still wants a little bit more of a trail bike, Rascal SL.
Those Rascal SLs do look pretty sick.
Yeah,
like
they really do.
Fun bike for like everyday riding. You can
it's
build
the
it a little
perfect
smaller.
all-around bike.
Yeah, you can build it a little smaller and it's a little bit faster to get anywhere. You could build a little burlier and it's a little bit more like handle what you want trail bike. Those things look cool. I'd definitely say I'd recommend one. In my opinion, you can buy all the fancy parts in the world. That'll make you feel fast, but it doesn't actually make you go any quicker. Like that. Yeah. In the end, that's where the actual all the other parts work. Yeah, the actual getting yourself quicker. And you can. It feels great. I'm not saying it doesn't feel great. Buy a bike. It's sick. Getting on a fast bike feels really fast.
Yeah,
but you're not actually going to go quicker.
Like your friend said, lose some weight and do some squats. Actually, does work.
Yep. It does work. Hey, even better recommendation: ride your new bike even more. Don't do this. Like the squats are good.
Simple answer is ride more.
Yeah, buy a new bike so you go ride more,
or push yourself a little bit and get stronger just on the bike simply, and it'll become way more fun.
Yep, ride bikes more.
That does make a big difference, and sometimes you just need an excuse to ride more and want to ride more, and the new bike is the ticket to that excuse.
Yeah. It is a crisp ticket. It is a good ticket to go ride your bike.
I think
more.
Everyone's done that.
Oh. I do that on like a weekly basis, dude. I put new parts on my bike to go like, ooh, I want to go ride this bike now.
Yeah. Yeah, it is fun. That does help.
And then you go up the climb and you get the same time.
Yeah.
No, it's good stuff though.
All right, Trevor.
Yeah.
Next one.
Juan Carlos. He's got a question for you.
Juan Carlos. Okay, so Juan Carlos says, hello guys. My daily driver is a 2021 Giant Stance E+1. That is a EMTB full suspension bike with a 130 fork and a 120 millimeter shock. The head tube angle, so it's a short travel EMTB, which is definitely unique. So his head tube angle is 65 degrees after a Wolf Tooth 2-degree angle set. Stock was 67 degrees. So is jumping to say a 150 millimeter fork too much? I normally ride trails in San Diego that are identical to trails we have here in Newbury Park. Thanks for your advice. Best mountain biking podcast, period. So let's see. So he made his head tube slacker. And he wants to go to a bigger, he wants to go from a 130 fork to a 150, which will make it even more slack. I think he should take the angle set out and then jump to a 150 fork because that might be crazy slack.
That's sounding like mega slack. So just seeing
it would be
my
too
current
slack.
bikes are. I don't know off the top of my head what the numbers are.
Mm-hmm.
What is it? What is each, every 10 mils, like half a degree is the rough?
I don't know.
That's what Liam says, I think.
Okay.
But I don't know.
That's a Liam question.
It is rough because it kind of depends on the bike.
It could depend on where your head angle's at.
Yeah. I mean, the general rule of thumb is bikes are designed around a certain travel fork. And in this case, it sounds like it was designed around a 130 fork and has 120 mil travel in the back. So the general rule of thumb is don't push your fork more than an additional 20 millimeters, which in this case would be 150. And if you do that, you lift the whole front end up. It makes it more slack. In which case, you probably don't also need the angle set.
Yeah. My kind of question is like, why are you doing all of this? Like, what is the original reason for going for it? Like, are you trying to
the bike sucks now?
Well, yeah.
Or like, are you trying to go in the slacker realm, or are you trying to add more fork to it?
He's got a short travel e-bike, so he probably wants what all e-bikers probably should have, which is like a big burly travel e-bike.
Yeah. Well, that's what I mean. Like, if your goal is to make it slacker, then like perfect, like that's your goal. I'd question why you're doing that. Like, you're getting pretty slack for that.
Probably just riding gnarly or downhill-esque trails on it and wants to make it a little beefier. So,
which is honestly, it sounds really fun. Mm-hmm. I'm always a fan of just over forking bikes. Nothing more than what Jeff said, like nothing more than 20 mil.
Yeah, nothing more than 20 mil for what it was originally designed for, and not also with an angle set.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, angle set would be with if you stuck with the same travel fork.
Yeah, I did the same thing on my Forbidden Druid because that's a 150 travel fork stock, and I made just 160. But it makes the stack a little higher, makes the reach a little shorter. And slackens it out just a little bit. So, which is kind of what I'm looking for in a bike and just to kind of do everything with. But yes, 20 mil is a lot with the angle set. It's too much.
Yeah.
Sorry, Juan. Gotta change some stuff around.
So this next question, another giant essay of a question, but the synopsis of it is recently switched from a Maxxis DHR2/Dissector combo to Continental Crypt Tall front and rear. Can tell that the Maxxis tires really relied a lot on the Max Grip compound to stick to terrain. The Contis seem to be made of harder rubber, but get more traction. Admittedly, it's still summer here in Austria, and I haven't ridden the Contis in very wet conditions. Would be great to hear pros and cons of each tires. Tires are expensive, and then he goes on to make fun of me for me always having brand new tires and giving away my slightly used tires. which is fair. I do that. I was talking about doing that today, actually.
Yeah, you were.
Because the tires on my bike are just worn out enough where someone else would have some great life out of them, but I want some new ones.
At least you're not selling your used tires.
That's true. They're always donations.
Yeah,
They're
I'm cool with that. That's awesome.
To be fair, your rear tire is pretty smoked.
Yeah, see?
Front tire is probably fine though.
Yeah. The rear, I mean, those, what's on the rear of that bike? A Recon or Recon Race?
Recon.
Yeah, just Recon. Yeah, those get smoked pretty quick.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a sucker about changing front rear tires at the same time too.
Really?
Oh yeah.
You want to do both at once? You can't just do
your bike
one?
looks so sick.
Yeah.
With fresh tires.
Yeah, I agree, man. I'm the same way. Completely the same way.
I have like a stack of very lightly used front tires at home that I need to take the dirt jumps and just give to kids or something because I'm like, I'm going to use it at some point, and then I go to put on a new tire and I just put it on a brand new set.
Well, I guess part of this question really is getting down to, what are our thoughts on when you think of how a tire performs versus how long it lasts and how much it costs. Factoring in all of those variables, do you feel as if one brand is any better than the other?
So I've got a pretty good amount of experience on both Maxxis and Conti, and I would say if you're kind of going more towards budgeting and not changing tires every other weekend, because the Maxxis tires, they will run out a little bit faster. The Continentals do last a crazy long time. We've got some Conti rubber on, and even in the super soft downhill casing, we have Conti rubber on some e-bikes in the shop, and they last for half a year, which is incredible. Because if you were to put, they last a long time, which does make me like wonder if like maybe the rubber should be softer, right? Because if you were to do the same thing with like a Max Grip or even a Max Terra Maxxis tire, especially on an e-bike, like that thing is torn up in a weekend. So it's hard to say, because I think if you're riding like super loose terrain and you want something that's going to kind of dig into the ground and actually have some bite, I think the Contis do a super good job of that, because they don't really deform at all. And it's the way their knobs are shaped, they kind of have some like mechanical advantage on that. So they do go into the ground more, and the knobs aren't really going to roll. But I personally kind of prefer the Maxxis because it is super soft. And if you can really feel the traction, and it's sometimes like with a Max Grip Acid Guy, it is hard to slide out. Like you can go as hard as possible, and it's hard to slide out. So,
I'd go to what I was saying earlier about, like we were talking about the expense. Like when we're talking about not lasting long, like the Max Grip Maxxis tires are what like pro downhill dudes are using for one run. Like it is like designed to be the grippiest thing you can. Like it's not gonna last long. So I'd kind of like say, what I like to do as well is I will put tires on like depending on what I want to ride. Like I'm sitting at home just going to be smashing a bunch of training miles. I'll put on a tire that I know is going to last a bit longer. I know it's not going to last me like one weekend of hard riding, but then let's say like, I'm a time of year I want a little bit more performance out of my bike. I'm like pushing harder or whatever it may be. Then I like spend that little extra money or whatever it may be and put a stickier rubber on. So I would say like, that's not an answer that's saying both are good, but I think it's like you were kind of saying, it's like use cases. Yeah, you're going to put on the back of an e-bike, maybe going for something that's going to last all day is a good option, like the Contis or something. But if you're like focusing on grip,
let's say
you should expect your tires to wear out if you're like pushing them.
Let's say you're riding in wet conditions, like you definitely want the softest rubber possible.
You want the stickiest thing. Like I'll pay anything to ride in the wet and like not feel like I'm dying in every corner. But when I'm sitting at home and want to just like bang out 1,000 miles in the month, like probably want to put something on that's going to last. So that's not the greatest answer for you, but kind of
makes sense.
That's where I stand on it, at least. Like don't waste your money on super sticky tires when you're just like cruising around. That's what I see all the time, is when you see somebody with like Max Grip tires on, they just put a like fresh set of Max Grips front and rear, and it's like
on the rear
summer, and it's like terrible trail conditions and all that, and I'm like,
on the rear, if you're like not if you're not racing downhill, it's probably a mistake.
Yeah, exactly. But again, it's just like, what do you want out of it? This is the thing.
Yeah, valid point. I mean, it's probably not relevant for this guy because I don't think he's or maybe it is, but Delium, remember those tires? that's still
those are affordable.
alternative. They're
like wreck through those types
literally
of things.
$50 a tire.
Yeah, neither Maxxis nor Conti are cheap at all.
Yeah, no, exactly.
They're super expensive.
You're kind of splitting hairs when you talk about Maxxis and Conti and comparing them in terms of grip and longevity, but Delium just blows them a lot of the water because they're literally half the price.
Yep.
And a lot of people who just burn through tires, especially people on e-bikes or e-bike rear tires, like you mentioned, people love Delium for that stuff.
Yeah, like perfect use case. So.
And their soft compound's actually pretty good too. Like
I well received. I mean, for a tire at that price point, it's impressively good.
That's sweet.
And people like that. Don't expect it to be super light. But
I'm pretty sure, don't quote me on this, but my buddy Eli used to ride for WTB back in the day. And I'm pretty sure they used to make a tire that had hollow side knobs. And he would say that he would just like tear the entire set of side knobs off in 3 runs. But they were the sickest tire for 2.5 runs. And then by then the tires were just smoked and you were just sliding everywhere.
Yeah.
But those, if you want to go like real durability issues back in the day.
Yeah, I'd like to feel like the World Cup downhill guys. I'd like to feel like whatever their compounds are for their race only compounds, like just to see what that's like.
I mean, if they exist or if they're just the same tires.
I doubt they're running much different than what we can get.
You think so?
Where I think if there was a better rubber compound, why would they not sell it?
Yeah.
That's at least, again, I don't know. That's
my
opinion.
Maybe because it just really won't last that long.
But we already have
literally last you 2 weekends.
Yeah. But there's already people that are swapping, there are people that swap their tires every week and want that performance. Like I feel like especially if they sold it for like $170, doesn't have to like make the money in the grand scheme. I don't know. Again, I'm not a professional tire person, but I think I'm a believer in like what we can go and buy other than sizing and special like things they're working on. I think that's what they're running for the most part.
That's what's cool about the mountain bike racing world 100%, too. Is they're racing all stock stuff.
Yeah, like the only time you can't go buy it is when it's a prototype and it's in the works to become available. Like the UCI has rules to make it that you have to be able to go buy the product within a certain amount of time that it was raced in competition. So that's pretty cool. Yeah. Like you can't see that in many other sports, period. That's how.
Yeah, pretty much every downhill World Cup was won on stock tires until this just last one, right? Was that Goldstone had some, or that was World Champs, right? Where he had some prototype tire?
He's on a prototype Maxxis tire.
It wasn't the Dissector 2 though, right? It was something else?
No, the new Dissector is like a downcountry tire.
Yeah.
What he's on is like kind of like a new DHF. Something like that.
Yeah.
So he's been on that, but...
Cool.
Tire talk. We had to get it in. Liam's out. So
we had to get it in.
Yeah.
We had to get in a little tire talk.
About casing, so.
Oh, man. Funny. Well, anyways, I think that's enough for the pod. We've gone long enough. Thank you all very much for listening. We appreciate it. Feel free to continue to send in your questions to podcast@worldwidecyclery.com. And by the way, if you want to sneak a little 10% discount on anything on the Worldwide Cyclery site, MTB Podcast 10. Special little treat for people who listen to the whole pod. And that's it. That's all. Thank you. Nice. See you guys next time.
Bye.
In honor of Liam, love ya.